Hey my lovelies, welcome back to the channel. We are back working on Mischief Maker. We have the arms in for him and we have the new exhaust. So I am so super excited to get back to this, and I am really hoping by the end of this video we are reversing on out of here. All we have to do is put the arms together. We have Johnny joints that we have to put in there. We're going to put all the suspension back in, then we're going to go ahead and put that exhaust in, put everything back together. Does anyone else find it weird when they're threading the opposite way that they normally thread? I feel very slow with doing that. I'm sure everyone else does too. Now we have the Johnny joints in there, and make sure that you put anti-C's in there, or anti-C's, however you like to say it. We're just going to quickly measure everything. Now you want to make sure that you measure from center of eye to center of eye, not the outsides, not just the arms, not just the aluminum. So get that done now. Alright, so we are aiming for 37.25. We can see that these are too long. They're currently 37.5. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to twist the Johnny joints in to make it shorter. This is how I make sure that both lower arms are the exact same length. The bolt should just go straight through both of them. Okay, I was just about to start doing the track bar and just remembered we have a little bit of a problem. It's not really a problem, but still. This bracket right here is too big for this, but don't worry because in this garage we have spares of everything, so we have the joint that will fit in there. We only need to do this side though, because remember we now have that new track bar bracket from Dawn RPM, and of course, if I can fit it in properly, that will fit in perfectly. So we only need to do the one side. I'm glad I remembered though before we got too far. So time to get that done and get everything in. Okay, so we may have a bit of a problem again, but it's okay because I think we may have another solution. I went to put the bung back onto the shank to keep this, and obviously it's too big. So we have the joint. There's the difference between the shanks right there. And Walter found a spare piece of aluminum. No, it is not as shiny as the one before. As long as the length from eye to eye with the joint is 36, we should be good to go. So we've just taken a little time to actually sort something out. You know how the bracket was bigger down here? That was for a 2.5 inch mounting width, and we have shrunk it down to 2 by taking a little out of the bracket and then welding it all back up again. So the bandsaw, by the way, was the savior again today, and we just took a little slice out the back there and then welded it all up. It looks really good, like nothing happened. When you have the right tools, you can do something. I absolutely love problem solving. It's so great. But now it's time to get that track bar in. So I still need to weld this in, but we have to get all the suspension in so that we can flex it out. All right, it's been a couple of days. Yes, I have been sick with a cold, but at least you can hear my voice today. So we just articulated the vehicle, put the second bypass on, and I'm gonna show you what kind of the problem is, but we already know how we're gonna fix it. So we're about 3/4 of an inch away from full bump. You can see that right here. And the track bar bracket is touching the diff cover. So what we're gonna do is, we love this bracket. We're just gonna shorten it and take it higher. So that will take the bar higher and it shouldn't touch anything. Everything else is looking fantastic. We're clearing everything. The arms look good. Everything else is away from everything else. It's not touching anything. So I'm gonna raise this up, get that track bar bracket off, take maybe just a little over an inch out of that, put it back up, and we'll see if that works. It should do though. Oh, what is Fergus doing here? How are you doing today? Are you back in the shop? Are you having a good time? Okay, so whilst I am taking those very healthy tacks off that track bar bracket and modifying it, Walter is gonna notch the frame out. Now he has to notch the frame out because the track bar bracket hits, believe it or not. So we have to notch a little bit more out there, and I'll reinforce that as well. So we're gonna get those things done. We're gonna come back and we're gonna do this all over again. So we took that material out of the bracket and everything is looking perfect. Nothing's bound up. Everything's looking good. So I'm going to switch you around and show you. The relationship between the track bar and the drag link look much happier. They're supposed to be parallel and we're not touching anything here. The joints look straight. They look great. They're not twisting or binding up in there at all. So this side looks good. Now we're going to switch and do the articulation on the other side to make sure that we've taken enough out here. And then we're going to do ride height and full bump on both sides. There's a lot of up and down and up and down and up and down and taking out and making sure that everything's good in here. So we're going to get it done now. Okay, this is the other side. The track bar looks good. That was a good job. The drag link looks okay, but what we're going to do is we're going to turn from side to side because that drag link is going to move. So we need to make sure that when we're turning the wheel, everything still works.
That's full lock.
Okay, so at full lock, we are good. We're not touching there at all. We did have rubbing previously with the drag link. So I think what we'll do is we'll just take it up just a little higher, just a smidge. It's not touching, but I'd feel happier with that. Now we're gonna get Walter to turn the wheel the other way and no problems whatsoever there. Drag link looks good, track bar looks good. I'm liking this. I'm a happy chappy. Now we're just gonna take a look at ride height and full bump on each side. Okay, let's take a look over here at full bump. We have literally millimeters of space through here, but that's exactly what we want. And the track bar is like, you could fit a piece of paper in between there in the diff cover, but that's again what we were looking for. The track bar looks good. So yeah, there's a lot of going up, coming down, making sure it doesn't hit anything, because you just want everything to have space when it works. But I'm really, really happy with it. Looks good. Now we're going to check it out at ride height. Well, everything is looking great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect the axle, put it back on the axle stand. I'm going to burn everything in, all the brackets in. They're great. They're in the perfect position. And I'm going to reinforce the frame where we notched that out. And then we're going to take a quick look at the exhaust. I haven't quite taken a look at that yet, so we're going to do that too. Okay, I did spruce myself up a little so I look a little more human, but all we have to do now is reinforce the frame right here. So we've CAD'd out a piece that will fit in there. I'm just going to cut this out of material that I have in the corner, hopefully, fingers crossed, I'm pretty sure I have something. Then we're going to take it over to the vise, we're going to bend it, and then I'll just get it on up there in the frame. gloves though. Whoa. Let's go from here. Ready for the heaven. That's okay. That's alright. Okay, so I painted the axle. It looks brand new. It looks like I just got it. I'm really excited about it. I have not seen my axle look this clean in years, so very happy with that. But I'm going to take a look at two things on the tie rod. The first being our clamp. Now I'm going to be upgrading the clamp from Chris's old one to his new one, and there are three main improvements, and I'm going to show you guys. So the first one being there's hex heads in the old clamp, and in the new clamp it's brand new hardware, grade 8 12-point bolts, which are perfect because I don't know if you can really see on the table, but I had to pick all this dirt out of the hex heads, and honestly just grimy. You know what hex heads are like. I don't need to tell you guys. Anyway, the second one is there's knurling on the inside here. I don't know if you can see that. I hope you can. And the old one, there's nothing. Now this is going to help keep the clamp on the tie rod, which is just super awesome. Again, a great improvement there. And the third one, which is my favorite, I have no idea why, is the high clearance bolt that's flush with the tabs right there, whereas the old clamp, not so much. So three incredible improvements, and I suggest, highly suggest, if you have Chris's old clamp, definitely get that upgrade. It is absolutely worth the expense, and I'll leave the link in the description below. So I'm gonna have to paint that, but before I do that, I'm gonna show you the second thing on the tie rod. We're gonna check out the joints on the tie rod end, but first, let's get this clamp painted. Okay, whilst the paint is drying over there, we're going to take a look at the joint on the tie rod. First of all, there's a puck isolator here that keeps the grease in the joint right there. And these actually look okay, but I'm going to switch it out to a new one anyway. And you either have a puck or you can have a boot. Now come over here with me to my little drawer of loveliness right here. We have our new pucks right here, so I'm just going to be putting a new one on there, and this is what I mean by a boot, so very different. So yes, we have our new ones right here. Come back over, we're going to check out the joint. So when you're checking out the joint, you just want to make sure that everything still feels really tight, nothing's wobbling around too much. And this one feels great. I actually switched these out 1.5 years ago, and I haven't wheeled much this year since my injury. So, in fact, I haven't wheeled at all since my injury, and I didn't do a lot of wheeling before. So, I don't think I need to switch those out at all. They actually feel great. So, we'll just get some new pucks on here, and by the time we do that, the paint should be dry. Let me show you, really, there's really nothing wrong with these at all, but just me being me, what I will do is I'll clean these up though, and these will be spare ones. If you happen to be out on the trails and you lose your clamp and you're out with me, you're probably gonna get that old clamp. I will always keep that in the Jeep because that's probably one of the first things that goes with everyone when we're wheeling. So I'm just going to clean up the old grease from here, and we'll put new grease in afterwards. But yeah, we don't need that nasty stuff in there. It just slides on like so. So I actually decided to give the axle one more coat of paint. So whilst that is drying off, we're going to turn to the exhaust, and look what I have. The old and the new. Look at that. So hopefully this should work. The problem being with the old one, with the new cross member was in the way. So hopefully this will work. So let's get under there and let's see if we can get this installed. Now, just before I head underneath the Jeep and do that, I want to remind you, 9 days from now, the giveaway for this year will be over. So make sure you head on over to treadlightly.org to get your entry for only $5. For $5, you could win a JT, a 12-foot aluminum trailer, and a Can-Am. So definitely head on over there, check it out, and make sure that you get your entry before it's too late. All right, I have the first part of the exhaust that I need to pop in here. So I believe this goes there. And this should clear. No. You were supposed to work. No. All right, I'm gonna have to call some reinforcements, I think. Let's see if they can help. I'm hoping. Hey, my lovely, how are you? I'm good, thank you, I'm good. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I just have a question for you. So I have a problem with Mischief Maker that I can't do anything about. I have a new cross member that I put in, didn't work with the old exhaust, ordered a new one, it came, it's absolutely not going to work with this. So would you guys be able to help me with that? You guys are so nice. Thank you so much. You are a lifesaver. Yes, no problem. I'll see you in a couple of days. Thank you so much again. I really appreciate it. Okay, bye. Bye. All right, who do you think I called for reinforcements? Leave your answer in the comments below. It's been such a trip with Mischief Maker. Broke back in May, I broke myself in June. I've not wheeled him since May, and this weekend is going to be the weekend that I get back in him and get some seat time in, and I couldn't be happier. He's been a little bit of a monster. There's been a problem every step of the way, but that's just how it rolls, I guess. So the only things that really need to get done now are that exhaust and then put those skid plates on. So we should be ready to rock and roll. Now I'm gonna go check on my axles, see if that's dry to put it back underneath here. But guys, thanks for watching.